this particular legislation, would this by any means be associated with what the MAGA movement has detailed in Project 2025?
I'm not familiar with exactly what you're talking about. Which part of the MAGA movement in 2025 that you're referring to?
So the part of the MAGA movement in 2025 that sounds exactly like the bill you're introducing, that part.
Well, you know, it's funny. When I was doing research on this and what I was going to do, I went back to 2017. We had a similar bill in this House that was introduced in the House and the Senate, actually. So, you know, this is the dignity of women being able to be in private spaces goes back a long time. And I don't think was initiated by any one event, but maybe the myriad of instances that I'll talk about later where women have not been safe in private places.
I didn't ask a question about the event or the private places. My question was this bill introduced because of what's in Project 2025?
No.
Thank you.
Not that I know of. Yeah.
Well, just so you know, if you didn't know, almost this exact language is in that Project 2025 bill. You know, I have to say this, that since I've been here, this has been very interesting. You know, I don't have many people that I consider friends. I just don't. I'm not that kind of guy. And in that, I certainly don't have friends that are members of alternative lifestyles. However, I do understand when people are being singled out for whatever reason, you know, and my mother raised me not just to take care of myself, but to additionally take care of those people who are unable to adequately defend themselves. And I'm afraid this is what we have. You know, I know what this feels like. One of my colleagues stood here earlier and gave us some detailed history about an experience that she had earlier in life. Well, as I look at this piece of legislation, I can tell you about I can give you a detailed experience about something that happened to me not so long ago in life. As this legislation attempts to point out that there are fears in women because of certain people, I can tell you that I have been a victim of something being nothing more than a scary black man. Not that I've done anything, but I was simply a scary black man. And then I was forced to defend myself because of what I would consider bigoted behavior. And that's what we have here, in my opinion. We have bigoted behavior that has generated legislation in an attempt to take advantage of people. This legislation that can certainly be construed as taking advantage of certain groups of people that we have spent hours and hours and hours today. We have absolutely overlooked all of those things that may have been more advantageous to Kansans. But this is what we choose to spend our time debating. And it singles out a group of people who, again, may not be able to stand and fight for themselves. I would just like to say thank you to my colleagues for putting up such a fight for those individuals today, because you never know when you're in a situation where you might need that support. Some of us aren't as strong as others. I would urge you to vote against this bill, because as what one of my colleagues mentioned earlier, yeah, this sounds an awful lot laws in the past that kept certain people from bathrooms, drinking fountains, the front doors of businesses. I won't even continue. You know where I'm going. So I urge you not to support this. I don't have much faith in the fact that you won't, but thank you anyway.